Welcome back to the In Empire podcast. This is crazy because it's been like a year or two since my last video.
We were young boys, young men creating content, high schoolers telling 30-year-olds what to do.
Yep.
Remember that?
Now we're young 20-year-olds telling everybody what they should do. High schoolers, old people, whatever, you know. We have a little bit more wisdom, but not a lot of wisdom. I'd say something I've learned since the last time I filmed. This is technically season 3. Season 1 was absolutely crazy. Kind of that was before Andrew Tate was even really a thing, and I kind of acted like Andrew Tate. And then season 2, I got a little bit more humble, but still was a little crazy. Season 3, guys, it's a year and a half since my last podcast. I feel like I've chilled out a lot more. My opinions are definitely eased out a little bit, and I'm not as aggressive as 16-year-old me. So
I would agree with that. I feel like bro was pretty ruthless at 16.
Yeah.
Which made for good content though.
It did make for great clicks and stuff like that.
He's an ancient man now.
Yeah. Now I'm 19, turning 20 in a couple months.
There you go, son.
Crazy. So we're already a couple minutes into the podcast. So that's what's new. I'm married, moved out, still have the same business. And, you know, I just wanted to get back into podcasting. I'm sure I'll be a little rusty this go around. I'm just going to get better at this. And I'm not even going to say when my next post will be, maybe a couple years from now or something. But, you know, I just want to interview people, talk about business, talk about their lives, see how we can all improve, and just a regular podcast doing big business stuff. So today I'm joined by Jackson. Give yourself a little introduction.
Hi guys, my name is Jackson. I've known Marshall since elementary school. We've been boys ever since. I used to do power washing with him back when we started out Do It Boys back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And did that for a couple of years, and then it was last year I started doing lawn care with my brother, and we've been doing that ever since. I'm in college right now. I'm 20. I'm very sexy, handsome, humble.
All the above, bro. All the above.
That's a little quick thing for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Jackson's got a successful lawn care company. He's a very humble guy.
Super
But he
humble.
also made a big business in 1 year. And it's a big business for 19 and 20-year-olds, okay? We're not making, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I would definitely say Jackson did well. And so we're going to pick his brain, figure out exactly what he did in his business so that we can maybe get some tips and tricks so that we can grow towards our businesses. So starting off, Jackson, what made you want to start the lawn care business, and specifically, who's your partner in it?
So for me, all the credit honestly goes to my brother Spencer. He's 2.5 years younger than me, and I think I was kind of a role model for him at the beginning doing power washing with Marshall, and it kind of got him that entrepreneur kind of mindset. And him and his buddy, junior year of high school, created their lawn business, MOWING, and they did that for a little bit, and Maverick, his buddy, kind of dropped off of it, so it was kind of just Spencer doing the lawn business. And then he got hurt in soccer, and so after he got hurt, I had to go pick up the lawns and help, continue the business. And once I started mowing, I was like, holy crap, okay, like everyone kind of knocks it a little bit. It's kind of just a basic, entry into service-based industries. But once you start doing it, you're like, holy crap, these reoccurring clients, phenomenal feeling.
Yeah.
Not having to market every 5 seconds, bro, amazing feeling. I was like, hold on. If we go all into this, we may make this kind of, pretty big. And so I was like, Spencer, can I join the business? He's like, heck yeah. And so ever since then, that was kind of the reason why I got into that lawn care business. Was I saw the potential of reoccurring clients. Sure, it's low ticket value, but it's much easier mentally, physically, everything, to have those clients set and just that reoccurring income. And over time, it adds up to be just as good as the high tickets, in my opinion.
Yeah. So with the pressure washing and soft wash business, basically when algae and mold and stuff like that grows on the siding of houses, or driveways start to get darker and they're not like that clean tan look when they're freshly poured, that's whenever things need a wash. Houses need a wash. There's mold, algae growing everywhere, even on plastic with vinyl, brick, all that stuff. That's specifically what we used to do, and what I do now is my full-time gig. And the difference is people only need this stuff done maybe once a year at like most, and then sometimes it's once every 5 years or once every 3 years, whatever it is. Like, it's a long time between these appointments of washing a house. I still have not washed the same house twice. I have done a couple because dust built up, but I've not had to do one where mold and algae come back. So it's a long time between reoccurring customers. You can sell someone on a house wash and then upsell them for driveway cleaning or gutter guards or something like that. But more specifically with the lawn care business, it's every week that these people need their exact lawn done. You get to memorize the lawn, you get to memorize how you can do the routes. Like, it's two different businesses in that aspect. We're similar in a lot of ways. Now maybe you go from a $350 house wash to maybe, a $45, lawn. But if you hit that lawn enough weeks, it's the same as that house wash. And on top of that, you have multiple people a day. So expand on that. Like, what does the process look like? What does route work look like? Like, what do you like more about lawn care than you do pressure washing, or vice versa?
Okay, so to be profitable in lawn care, at the beginning you can make solid money just kind of doing houses you get here and there. But if you really want to hone it in and be very profitable, it's all about route density. Okay, so because these are not the highest ticket jobs, our average is about $45 for a cut. It's all about how close these houses are together and how quickly you can get done with the house. Obviously, you want to do it at the top quality you can and make sure the customer is satisfied. But you want to make sure these lawns are close. So whenever you're building in your route for the day, you want to have as little drive time as possible. And I mean, for example, like, we had one setup where we had 3 houses literally right next to each other, and we finished all 3 of them in under 40 minutes.
Jeez.
And so once you rack that's 45 times 3 in 40 minutes. That's how you start getting very profitable. And you'll see some of the top lawn care companies, they just have like a whole neighborhood. And so they're not even driving. They park the truck at the entrance and they're just doing the entire neighborhood. And that's how you make a crap ton in lawn care. A really good thing too about it is there's endless work when it comes to anything lawn care or outside related. So the upsell value of having a client is very nice as well. You mow their lawn, and so you have them for about 32 or so weeks, but then you can also upsell them on bush trimming, mulching, installation of mulch, anything landscaping related is great. So it's nice to have that mowing client, but if you want to take the value to the next level, you hit them on that other aspect as well. It's kind of nice during like the slower times of the year to message your clients and talk about stuff like that. And so that's an aspect I really love about it as well. But it's back to what I was talking about earlier. It's all about route density.
That's awesome. So in the peak season of 2024, how many lawns were you getting done in a week?
We had about 42, 43-ish lawns at our peak.
Okay, and at my peak, I did maybe 5 jobs in a week, 6 jobs. That's the difference. So mine's a little bit bigger ticket, but you can only really do so many in a day. If you stack it up well, you can maybe do 2, 3 in a day, but average days I'd say is 1 a day. With lawn care, how many a day are you hitting with that 40 yards a week?
So whenever we were still in school,
Yeah.
we did about 20 a day because we had to do it on the weekends.
20 a day is crazy.
It was 8 to 8. We were working freaking all Saturday and Sunday and credit.
Yeah.
But once it got to the summertime, and we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to do that anymore since I kind of know what I'm doing now. But we try to hit on average around 10 a day. work 4 days of the week, have the rest either for marketing or relaxing, stuff like that. So that was kind of what we tried to do, around 10 a day.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So it's the off season. What are some preparations you're making for your second season ever in lawn care?
Second season ever. I mean, the first season, I mean, we've been blessed. It's been great for us. Some preparations we're making into our second year is getting more official, you know, getting insurance.
You didn't have insurance that year?
Yeah, we're testing it out a little bit.
Okay.
You know, we were seeing that
Alright.
first. Hey, we're getting insurance second year. It's not as dangerous as...
You got the LLC though. You got all that stuff.
Got the LLC before we even started.
He's got it locked. He's got that locked.
So we're gonna get insurance second year. Mainly for us, in terms of marketing when it comes to that, dialing in our door hangers. All right, door hangers have been great to us that first year. Gonna work really on trying to dial in a really good door hanger to, you know, obviously sell more. And I think we want to put out a lot more numbers this year in terms of our hangers, and so that's one preparation we're gonna make.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure with you guys watching this, it's easy to think like, oh, how does he not have insurance? Or, you know, for me, my first year, I didn't even have an LLC for like 2 years. And it's because it's him and his brother. And so whenever you think of insurance, you do have insurance to protect the customer's property. What can go wrong with lawn care? Not as much as with pressure washing. But for him, it's like insurance and all these little tasks and bills that you have to have are like, in the beginning you don't necessarily have to have them. Eventually you do. But whenever it was me and Jackson, I was like, well, Jackson's hopefully not going to sue me if he gets hurt, so I'm not going to have workers' comp, and vice versa. So it's easy to think about that stuff, but really the bills start to rack up. So Jackson, in your experience, do you think it's smart for someone to have a lawn care business that offers pressure washing, or even someone that has a lawn care business that has a separate pressure washing business? Or do you think it's better that you have one thing that you focus on?
Yeah, I just want to touch before I answer that question real quick. A lot of the stuff we were talking about, like getting insurance, LLCs, all that stuff, can be very, you know, overwhelming when you think about it, and it's technically the right way to do things before you even start. But it may be unpopular, it may not be. I don't know what people's stance on this is, but honestly, just start. Don't even, you know, it's great to have those things. Don't even worry about it. You need to worry about just getting experience, getting reps. Obviously be smart, you know, don't do something stupid or you're going to blow up someone's house. But yeah. I mean, as long as you just start, those things can come.
It's always recommended that you start out with family and then you expand to friends. And hopefully by those two groups of people, you have enough money that then once you take on strangers, that's whenever those things start to be important, because strangers are the people that can kind of mess with your life, mess with your business. And the point of a limited liability company, which is the LLC, is to make sure that you are detached from the liability of your business. Your business can get sued, it can get destroyed, but you and your personal belongings are separated from it. So yeah, get back to just that question of, you know, lawn care offering pressure washing.
Yeah, honestly, I would not recommend it. I think you really, once you're especially starting out, you really need to just focus on your niche. All right, put all your time and effort into one thing you think you're good at and something you can provide. If you're kind of doing, you know, all these different things combining into one, people don't really know your identity. Like, is he the mower guy? Is he the pressure washer guy? I mean, he's both, but is he really good at both of them? You know what I'm saying? And so I think you really need to just dive into one thing, put all of your effort into it instead of half effort into two different things. Build your identity in that one thing. You know, obviously once you know, make it big, you know, you have that business established, kind of running on its own, you're not doing much anymore, you know, then you can, you know, move on to the next thing maybe. But I still wouldn't necessarily combine the two businesses together. I would probably still keep them separate as two different things, but that's, you know, that's just me personally.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a business that offers a lot of services. Probably Google is one. You know, you got the Walmarts, the Facebook that offer just a ton of different services. But all of these platforms started off very specific and then eventually worked to be as big as they are. And so when starting a business, it's really fun and giddy to add all these services, start 5 businesses all at once, and sometimes you do have to do that to figure out what you actually like. But somewhere in there you have to mature and end up going for one business.
That's well said. I mean, you're speaking from experience too, because I mean, at the beginning, I remember it was Do It Boys, which we were doing like 20 different services already, and then on top of that, you were trying to do the DJ business as well. You know, flirting maybe with like a idea of like a carpet cleaning business as well and stuff like that.
Podcast at the same time.
Yeah, try to do e-commerce as well with Shopify and stuff like that. So it's
trying to do social media full time.
So he's speaking from experience here. He's done both of these where he does 100 different things and then just one. And obviously, you would say doing just the one works a lot better. So
yeah, one's better. It's a lot less stress. Yeah, Jackson's got a great thing with a partner. I'd also say a lot of people, they try and start a business and get a partner. Dave Ramsey, his saying is the only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership. So, you know, that's my opinion on partnerships. I know a lot of my brothers would say the same thing. Partnerships can be hard. Now, of course, Jackson's partner is his brother. Jackson, how has having a partner been? What do you suggest to people that want to have a partner in business? Just ramble off about that.
Yeah, so I think having a partner can be great. It can also be dangerous depending on who your partner is. I think before you even, you know, create your business, and like if you have the mindset that you're wanting to have a partner already before you even start the business, this is gonna have to be someone that you're like trust more than anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, your business is based off of your and his performance here, or her, you know.
Most it's better to not just partner with somebody that you found out about this year or met this year. Jackson obviously has known his brother his whole life.
Just for a little bit.
Yeah. So it's good to make sure you know your partner. Very good.
Yeah. No, you really do have to know them very well. So if you have that trust with your partner and you really think you can trust them, then honestly having a partner is great. You can, you kind of split the workload a little bit. Not all the stress is on your shoulders. Like, if you don't produce, it's not necessarily just on you. It's on you and him, you know what I'm saying? You can have double the brains, so, different ideas coming in. And like, if you're doing jobs or anything like that, it's not just you out there. It's nice to have someone else out there. The downsides, the cons of having a partner is, sometimes you guys think differently, and so that can be hard depending on, if you're wanting to take the business one way, they're wanting to take the business the other way. Also, you have to split the income, obviously, so you're not making as much as if you were solo. But you can leverage having the partner to make more income. And so it's kind of the trade-off there, where it's like you have 2 people working instead of 1. So, you can have 2 people passing out door hangers at the same time. You can have 2 people doing the job so they get done quicker. And so it really just comes to how you leverage your partner, honestly, and make sure that trust is there, because that's, like I said earlier, that's beyond anything else. You have to have that trust with your partner.
Yeah. I'd say those are all great things. And then probably the last hammer on the nail for this topic is let there be a trial period, okay? Don't agree over a Denny's table and the next day go sign legal documents to be legal partners. Do a trial run where nobody has more legal advantage than the other, and you guys just kind of work together. A couple months, maybe even a year, maybe a couple of years, as long as it takes for you to actually build enough trust with this person. A lot of the times, the word starts with a D, okay? So if your partner dies, does that mean the business then goes to his wife, and that means Jackson would have to work with somebody's wife, or vice versa? What if one partner becomes disinterested? He stops working. He just stops showing up to work. You can't fire him because he's a business owner. He's a partner owner, part owner. Okay? What happens in the case of a divorce? Is the wife going to want to run away with a certain percentage of the business? And so dishonesty, what if he screws you? And so it's actually important to discuss and talk about everything that you think can happen in the next 10 to 20 years of you running this business with that person. And make sure you have a solution for every problem. Because if you don't do that preparation, then when one of those tragic things does happen, then you're like, well, crap, what do we do now? We didn't really think of this part. And so I would recommend, that is definitely some Dave Ramsey advice. He always talks on that. So
yeah, I was thinking too about it. Before you even choose this partner, you can trust them or her with with your life. This can be one of the closest people you know, but you need to take that, what you know about them and like all your personal feelings about it, throw it out the window and just think about this. Is this person very hardworking? Are they good under pressure? And can they, get through hard times? There's a lot of great people I know that definitely are not, the hardest working, or struggle a ton whenever, there's, things aren't going their way. So those are qualities you really want in a partner as well. Someone that can get through it with you, and someone that's not afraid to take risks and get knocked down, but just keep getting back up no matter what.
what are you guys doing throughout the day to actually boost the business? I know a lot of business owners stay busy, but the business doesn't grow. Okay, so there's a difference between a business growing and you staying busy. You can go around all day to different operations of the business and stay busy and feel productive and feel like you got stuff done, but the business stays the same. What are you doing throughout the day to actually make sure your business is growing?
Yeah, well, if I'm being honest, not much actually. At the beginning, I was very motivated, working, day in, day out, almost every day on trying to grow the business. And that was the spring before it really got busy. And once it got busy, I kind of got into that loop where it's like I'm just working, and I get home and then I crash because, I'm tired, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's very common to get into that loop of, like you said, you're busy and you're working, but you're not actually growing the business. And so one thing that is helpful, at least in our business, is to always be posting on different apps and stuff like that. We have Nextdoor, which we really enjoy. That's worked great for us. And so being consistent on those, posting on Google, always trying to find something you can improve on is huge. Maybe it's one day you go pass out some door hangers, anything like that. But we definitely got caught into the loop of, we're just, keeping the clients happy, doing our work, making sure it gets done, and trying to get through the day. And that's one thing we definitely want to improve on next year, is always being productive in what we're doing as well. Whether that probably might have to be, doing the boosting of this business before we even go mow, because once you go mow, you're cooked after that. Your brain's cooked. You don't want to do much. So if that means having to get up an hour earlier and doing something like that, that may be what has to be done. But yeah.
How are your hours set up during the day in the summertime? Talk about what you did in 2024 and then what you want to do in 2025.
Okay, so the average day looked like we get up, and I think the noise ordinance, it's either 7 or 8. That's whenever you can start making noisy outside. So we got up around 6-ish, got ready, ate breakfast, all that, get prepared for the day, pack the lunch. And we were trying to, get the trailer set up and be out mowing by like 7:30 or 8. That was ideal, just trying to beat the heat. And so we usually start around that time and then finish up anywhere from 3, 4, maybe if it's a long day, maybe 5. That's about the longest we'd usually go in the summertime. And we'd usually do that 4 days a week, try to do 10 a day, get it knocked out. And that was the average summer day for us, honestly.
That's awesome. And then 2025, what are you thinking it's going to look like?
So if we grow it how I want to, obviously we got 40, that would be nice to grow it a lot more. Obviously we'd be having to work more. So maybe be working one more extra day, maybe 5 days, still getting up around the same time, and start mowing just right whenever you can to beat the heat. And then honestly probably still go till maybe 4 or 5. With lawn care, it's like once you finish all the lawns, you're done for the day, you know what I'm saying? So you're obviously trying to finish it as fast as you can. And so that end time is a little different, but it was usually around 4. And so, with more lawns comes more time. And so probably around 5 days working, maybe have to take 2 days off.
That's awesome. That's gonna be cool. This will be a big year for sure. So with most service businesses, referrals is going to be your number one way of getting new clients. But they should also, and it should be that way too, okay? You know, if it's not that way, it's okay. If you're getting most of your leads from Facebook or Google, that's okay too. But if you were to design a perfect business, I would say it'd definitely be referrals. That would be free. It means people trust you. It means people are willing to refer it to a friend. So just like a good movie, you know, if Jackson went and watched a movie, I asked him how it was. He said, it wasn't that good. There's a very good chance I wouldn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very good chance even if it came out for free, you know, on a streaming platform, I may still not watch it. I may even tell other people, well, I heard Jackson said it wasn't that good. That's how negative referrals go against you. Positive referrals, if Jackson says the movie is great, I go watch the movie, I tell 2 or 3 people, they tell 2 or 3 people, they tell 2 or 3 people, and the movie gets watched a lot, okay? And so you want to minimize as much as possible people being mad at your company, and then on the flip side, you want to get as many referrals as possible because it means people like you, trust you, and trust you enough to talk to their friends about it. And it means you're on the forefront of their mind. So setting up referral programs is something important to do. If you don't know what that is, research it. So Jackson, beyond basic referrals, what is your number one way of getting leads?
So yeah, referrals is definitely our number one, hands down. Like you were saying, that is ideal. Our number 2 way, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, is door hangers. Door hangers have been freaking amazing for us. For the amount we've put out and how much we've gotten back is amazing. And so door hangers doesn't work for every business. Lawn care businesses and low ticket, I would say door hangers work very well. Basically, essentially what we do on our door hangers is one side we have all of the business info and like, you know, what we provide, everything like that, our contact information, everything like that, a good picture. And then we have a little like just blank area with a line and it says your quote here. And what we do is before we go into the house, we look at it, we look at the lawn, and then we write the quote on the door hanger. And so then once they already know exactly what we would charge, what the quote is. So they're either gonna call us and they're already interested. You don't even have to sell them in that aspect. Or you're not gonna get those constant calls, people asking you, like, how much you charge and stuff like that. It's like, for sure that person wants you. And that's worked very well for us. Some people, they see the door hanger and they don't want to take the time to actually go and, figure out how much it's going to cost. But if it's already right there, they're like, oh, 45, yeah, we can do that. Let me just call them up. Boom, right on the schedule right there. And so that's our first side of the door hanger. The back side is just personal information about me and my brother, the businesses, kind of where we're at in life, it's tugging on the heartstrings a little bit, just getting them to know you personally, and build that trust with you and see that you guys are a business and someone that they can trust. And that's worked freaking amazing for us. When it comes to leaf season, Nextdoor has been phenomenal for us. Even mowing season, we got some people through Nextdoor as well. And so that is our top 3 right there. And then what's been also coming a lot is Google recommendations. It was the later half of the season, but Google's been performing like crazy for us, and a lot of people are coming from Google as well.
Yeah.
And so that's been great. Also a sneak peek in there, this literally just happened yesterday. I don't know if we'll secure the client or not, but Better Business Bureau, have you heard of that?
Yes.
Better Business, we're on Better Business Bureau, and we actually got a house management company contacting us from Better Business Bureau. Very interested in our services for the houses.
That's great.
That's a little sneak peek in there. We'll see how that goes, but there's a little hint in there for you.
That's really awesome. Yeah. So I like hitting on all those. Good thing with the door hangers, making it simple. Don't make it wordy. Look at other door hangers from other businesses. Actually spend time designing it, 2 or 3 days. That way it gives you enough time to wake up the next day, reread it with a fresh mind, and change whatever you need. Simplicity is the best thing, you know, logo, phone number, whatever, services, and then offer, okay? 20% off, or with Jackson, he had that little white square that he could write, you know, 45 bucks in or $40 for a yard, whatever he decided for that. And like Jackson said, if they call, they're interested, okay? So I really like that idea. Nextdoor is great, Facebook's great, Google's great. For my business, it was Facebook posts, so posting in, just posting on Facebook and then boosting the post, okay? So not really Facebook ads, but Facebook boosting. There's a difference there. 18 jobs from that. Google, 13 jobs from that. Referrals, 13 jobs. Repeat clients, 12 jobs. Facebook local pages, so posting in, you know, the Welcome to Springfield group chat, you know, just all of the free groups that you're able to be on in Facebook that has many thousands of your local people posting their helps. And then with those type of strats, you want to make sure that you're, you know, not too wordy with those either, not too salesy, definitely making it more personalized. Jackson succeeded because he's made his very personalized. His clients know his story. Okay, his story last year was he was saving up for college, and same for his brother, you know, both high schooler and then college kid, and so their story was very personalized. It wasn't the best mowing company in Springfield, 40% off first mow, something like, you know, it wasn't salesy, it wasn't pushy, it was actually personalized. It was actually his story, and that sells. In the beginning years of you doing business, which that was you with me, versus the business that you have now rolling into 2025, what were the things you're doing during the day? What were the differences? What did you not know your first year of trying out business versus the knowledge you know now?
Goodness gracious.
Loaded question.
First year of business, I knew nothing, man. We were just young 16-year-olds. We saw a little TikTok, and we're like, yeah, well, you can make money doing this. Let's do that. And so you don't really know much. You know, you don't really know how to market. You don't know how to, you know, at first you don't really even know the correct ways to do the job. And a lot of it just comes with experience. I think through experience, I've learned really how to interact with customers pretty well. I think you really learn how other businesses work by just doing your own. You can kind of, you know, see what other people are doing and pick their head a little bit, and then you can really grow off of that. And that comes with experience, being able to do that.
And to expand on your first year, what were also some of the weaknesses that you had? Were you nervous to talk to people, your clients? Were you nervous to spend a little bit of money on Facebook?
That's a huge one actually, is spending money. Your mindset of spending money, you're spending it, you're like, crap, I'm losing money here. It's freaking terrifying.
Just bought a multi-$1,000 lawnmower. This is crazy.
Exactly. No, it hurts at the beginning, but you have to change your mindset completely. You have to spend money to make money. It's like, I'm going to throw $500 at this. I'm not losing this money. This $500 is making me money. And that has to be a mindset shift. If you want to do anything in business, you have to have that mindset. You're not going to, maybe you're crazy, an anomaly, I don't know, but it's very rare. You have to be spending a lot of money to make a lot of money.
And in the right places too, right?
That is correct. There'll be times where you throw out money and the return on investment was not good. And so obviously you know, and that's not even lost money. That's just experience and trial and error. And you learned, okay, that's not a source that makes money. Now let me put my money in somewhere else and really, you know, see if that grows. You know, it's really just trial and error in that. But then, yeah, like you said, like you're talking to customers at the beginning. If you're, you know, just at the beginning, it's like, gosh, dang, I gotta go talk to this customer real quick, knock on their door, let them know I'm about to freaking wash this house or something. That's terrifying at first. And then you get numb to it, you get used to it, and then you get good at it. And it's amazing, it's rewarding. Yeah. And even just having the mindset of not even trying to sell this person, just have a genuine conversation, learn about them, and kind of, you know, get to know them, get to know about their life. I mean, that's great. You get to hear a lot of cool stories, all that stuff. And so it's just really the experience of maturing over the years that takes place that, even from like a non-business perspective, from like a human perspective, just doing business, like I feel like it really matures you and forces you to get outside your comfort zone.
And in the younger ages of your life, you genuinely are gaining IQ. Your brain is genuinely growing and becoming better every year. And so the problems that you had your first year on your third year are going to be completely different. Mm-hmm. Your first year, you're stressed about doing a post on Facebook. Your third year, you're stressed about maybe adding a new service. Like, it's just different challenges. There'll always be challenges, but it's really funny to think back your first year and be like, dude, the problems I had then, I could solve now, like this, and this, and just solve them all super fast.
Yeah.
And then the new problems you have, you don't know how to solve them yet, and they're the ones you're currently facing and battling. You know, trying to think of a good example. I'd say for me now, it's getting better at advertising. I'd say my first year I was really bad, and there's a couple ways that I didn't advertise. I never used Google Ads. I used Google. I had a Google profile with my reviews and services listed, but if I wasn't ranking high that day and Google didn't rank me up, then people wouldn't even see my listing. Where now, I've built 2 Google listings. I know exactly what to do to grow them, to rank them, and I'm still working on that. And that is the problem I solved my first year. Now I'm transitioning into, okay, how do I make a Google Ads campaign actually work good for me instead of wasting my money? So, yeah, what are your thoughts?
One thing I really like that you do as well, once you start doing business for a while, is he'll send us like a door hanger or something, or like a video or something, and ask for feedback and criticism on it. That's one thing too. If you're going to get into business, you have to be really good at handling criticism and making the most of it. And so that's one thing too. Getting peer review and people who have done it before, their feedback on different things as well, I think is huge, and that's something that needs to be done.
That's for sure. Because first of all, asking your friends that are in business is really important for advice, but also asking your clients. Like Jackson said, our first year we were kind of nervous, so maybe we show up, stutter, do a crappy job, leave, and hope they don't leave a bad review. And later in business, you actually do a good job. You actually sit there and you talk to them for as long as they're willing to give you advice. A lot of people that I have talked to has actually changed the way I do business.
And from the lawn mowing perspective, I kind of do the same thing, where a lot of times we get clients and it's like middle of the season and they're like, yeah, I fired my lawnmower guy, and so I want you guys to do it. And I always ask them before, I was like, what was the reason you're going with us now instead of them? Like, why was he not doing a good job? What was he doing? And they'll tell you, and then you really hit hard on that aspect. Like, you make sure that obviously you're going to do a good job every time, but like if they say like specifically like he wasn't blowing off the back porch well or something like that, you need to really focus and make sure you hit hard on that aspect, and they'll see that and really appreciate you 100 times more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you learn from your experiences and you learn from others' experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like Jackson said, if you do a great job blowing off the deck, you don't leave trimmings everywhere, then people are going to refer you and things grow fast.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the best offer or ad campaign that you've done so far, and why was it such a good ROI?
I think probably our best ad campaign was actually, I'm not even kidding you, was our first, and it was in the fall time last year, going on to leaf season, and it was our Nextdoor campaign. We posted on Nextdoor once every week,
completely free, just a public post,
complete post, no boosting, nothing, completely free every single week. And we posted our before and afters, and we had a little bit of personal stuff in there. Like on the back of our door hanger, we had our sword. We had just a small snippet of that in the post, with a before and after, a proof of our work. And we hammered that once a week, and then we farmed the comments from the people that we already did. They commented on that post, and it boosted it even more, saying that we did a great job right there, completely free. And that was easily our best campaign. And why it was so effective too, or why it was so good to us, is because it made just a ginormous post on Nextdoor. And Nextdoor isn't like it's not like Instagram. You're not going to get like 2 million likes on a post or something, So it's like, we got like 30 or so likes on this. And that's the top in like most neighborhoods. Like, that's going to be a huge post. And so people just keep seeing it recurring over and over. And you get those leaf clients, and then you transfer them to lawn mowing that next season. And so you offer, you get, the main reason why we do leaf cleanups is to hopefully get them for lawn mowing, honestly. Because leaf cleanups is not fun, I'll tell you that right now. But as long as you can just offer more services to them and get them what you actually want to do, amazing. And so that ad campaign by far was, Lord have mercy, it was amazing.
Man, that's awesome. That's really cool. So your business is Musil Mowing, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. How does your business stand out from the competitors?
I think our business, and I was looking at it, before I even started making it, and you look at all the businesses, and for me, I was looking at all their Googles, and they didn't really have logos. Like, they had basic logos, I guess, but they didn't have company shirts, hats, nothing like that. It was the guy with the mower in the back of his pickup, and no really marketing other than word of mouth is what most of these guys are running on. And so it looks very unprofessional. They don't post anything on their Google, and they don't ask for reviews. So most of these companies have like at max like 3 to 4 reviews. And so one thing I really wanted to do to separate us was farm reviews from the clients we've already had and ones we're doing. And so quickly, we jump up. We only have like 30 something reviews, but
Which by the way is crazy for year one. It usually takes people like 5 years somehow to get to that point.
So like 30 something, and that's the good thing about low ticket too. More customers, more people you can ask for reviews. But it's like we already have 30 some reviews, and that's more than like probably 85% of the lawn mowing companies there. And so really want to focus on just having, a company color, company clothing, and just focusing on posting on Google, which is what most people are looking for. They type in, lawn mowing near me, and if you're up there with the reviews and you look professional, why would they need to even look for the other ones? If they see a guy with, no pictures on the Google or anything, but they see you with like a stacked, beautiful page, why would they even go with the other guy? That's the common theme with everything in business, is just consistency. Show up when you say you're going to, be consistent, keep working, everything consistent. I mean, consistency is probably one of the biggest top 3 words I would use if you're ever doing anything in business.
Mm-hmm. And you'll hear that, and then you'll start a business, and then you won't be consistent. Everyone falls into little droughts where they could be doing more than they are. But just realize you're in that drought, and then get back up and keep going, okay? But I know a lot of people that created a Google, asked 5 friends to leave a review. They got all 5 friends to leave a review, and then they stop. A lot of entrepreneurs are very short thinking, where they're like, I'm gonna, hang out a door hanger, get a job, take the money, and that's it. Not even collect their information or do anything like that. But long-term thinkers are, I'm gonna build a brand. That way, when people search pressure washing, there's a website and a Google popping up first. Both of those are very identical with brands. Same logos, same phone number across all platforms, same saying, same description, same awesome pictures, a lot of followers, a lot of reviews, valuable content. And that way, if someone searches up on Facebook, we're on there. If they say, oh, they have a Google, they click Google, they're like, huh, same brand, same colors, it's the same name. You're consistent with all of your hours. You're going to confuse people if on your Facebook you say you open up at 12 and you end your day at 5, but then on Google you say you start at 8 in the morning and you end at 5. Everything has to be the same on all platforms whenever it comes to branding. and that is how you rank. That's also how Google will rank you. If Google sees someone else has a similar company name, when in reality it's your company, you know, you're on Google and on Facebook, but if you have two different names, or it's spelled differently, or the hours are different, or the phone numbers are different, Google is not going to know that that's your business. Google also only sees and recognizes companies off of consistency. And so if my Instagram, my Facebook, my Yelp, my Google, my website all have the exact same important bio information with phone numbers and all that, then Google will start to rank you, and Google will also rank those other platforms. They will say, hey, he also has a Facebook, he also has an Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really great.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff comes with experience over time. You know, you just kind of learn that stuff. We didn't know that at first. I mean, we didn't collect any of the client's info whenever we first started pressure washing. It's like we had their first name and how much we made from the job.
Yep, that is it.
I still have it in my notepad, and that's it. And
I my first year, I'm like, dang, I wish I knew where that person lived. I don't have the address. I don't have their phone numbers. Just their name and just how much we got paid from it.
Yeah.
Because that's all we cared about.
Yeah. And you learn from that, and you make those mistakes early on so you don't make it again. But that's hopefully what this podcast is for. You can kind of cheat code that and learn from our mistakes and grow from that.
Yeah. So we got to learn a lot about Jackson and his business. Final question before we hit on a very short faith journey with you. The last business question is, what are your 5-year plans / goals?
I love
You're
that
going
question.
into year 2, so that's pretty far thinking. What do you think? Where do you want Musil Mowing to be, if you even want it to be there?
In 5 years, what I want it to be is eventually have 2 crews going out. So you have double the, you got 2 trucks, 2 mowers, 2 crews, hopefully, 4 employees total, 2 people per crew. That would be huge. And going out working, and I want to be at a position hopefully in 5 years where maybe I'm working here and there for the love of it, but not necessarily being out on the front lines, still doing the work, but essentially, managing all the customer relationships, all that, getting the crews ready, getting the routes ready, make sure the equipment's good, and not necessarily having to be out mowing for 7-8 hours a day, but being in a position where I can just use my mind to think about how I can expand the business, make it bigger, and just keep it growing. And so that's where I want to be probably in 5 years, is 2 crews, 4, 2 people per crew. And I want to be probably at a position where we're doing, this probably isn't 5 years, this is maybe 10 years out, but commercial properties mainly. A lot less client relationships you have to deal with, and it's just you have the contract and you go. So that's the 10 year. The 5 years, 2 crews, residential.
That's awesome. How old will you be in 5 years?
I will be 25.
25. That is still very young. Okay. That's the advantage of starting young with a business, because by the time you're 25, you've already been doing it for dang near 8 years. So that's really awesome, Jackson. Jackson, what's your faith journey look like? How has God helped you with your business and just the growth of you being young 16-year-old Jackson to now who you are with the business, with faith?
Yeah, I think for me, I was always, I was always raised in church. I always grew up in a Christian household and everything, and so I always, knew who God was, trusted Him, everything like that. But it was very lukewarm. I wasn't really reading my Bible much. I wasn't actually paying that much attention to God or anything like that. Like it's that thing where you say you're Christian, but you're not really doing anything actively to grow in your faith or anything like that. Kind of just in that lukewarm state. And so it was really about 2 years ago whenever I started actually really taking it seriously and actively trying to read my Bible, be with other people that are like-minded, have the same mindset and stuff like that. And in that I really saw growth in just my personal life and just spiritually. I feel like I grew a ton, became a lot more, knowledgeable, and, looked at life in a different perspective. And then, what God really blessed me with was you know, it didn't seem like great at first. It was like my brother got hurt, and so he couldn't even do the business, and so I just had to pick him up. I was like, yeah, I'll be nice. I'll just do it until he can get good again, and then he can just pick it back up. And it was just that weird, not necessarily good thing that happened that literally changed my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just there's a little miracle like that it's like, it makes you look back and you're like, wow, you know, I'm so glad that there's a creator that's, you know, got an amazing plan for me and really looks down on us. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just, they're always there. He's always there for you. So that's kind of my little business spiritual journey right there, I would say.
That's really great. Yeah, that's awesome. So what's the last piece of advice or last thing you want to say? I imagine in 5 years we'll do a follow-up, see where you're at. By then you'll be multimillionaire, hopefully. And
We'll see. I don't know about that. But I'd say my biggest advice, I kind of touched on this earlier, was, you know, you just have to start, okay? It's so easy to listen to, you know, this whole podcast and get really overwhelmed. And it can be a lot of things you have to try to remember and do. You're not going to be amazing at first. You're gonna fail. You're gonna get knocked down. You have to keep getting back up, and you have to start somewhere. Okay, you're not gonna be like the best company just right out the gate. And if you are, that's amazing, but it's very hard to do. But as long as you start somewhere and you just keep going and keep going and keep going, and you don't stop and you stay consistent, there's no way you won't be where you want to be if you just keep working. If you stop, you're screwed. All right, there's nothing you can do. And so that's at least what I've experienced, is me and my brother, we just keep going. You know, we lose a client, we do, you know, we actually mess something up or anything like that. It's easy to get discouraged, but as long as you pick each other back up, you get at it, you say you're sorry, you make it right with the customer, and you keep going, you can't be stopped.
that's awesome.
That's what I would have to say for the people getting into it.
Yeah, you cannot lose if you don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
You might dig yourself in a hole financially starting a business, but it's not until that price is solidified if you quit. So if you keep going, then you can dig yourself back out of a hole or out of a rut. And it's as simple as, you know, getting pissed off. Clients pissed off at you or something, and you take, you know, a day or two off. You feel like you want to quit the business. You tell everyone, yeah, I'm done with the business. It's so stupid. And by the time Monday rolls around, you open the laptop back up and you just do something to improve the business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not giving up or not getting kicked down doesn't mean you literally get kicked down and you stand right back up. Sometimes it might take a couple days, sometimes it takes a couple weeks, but don't make it any longer than that. You know, as long as you just open up the laptop every day, or go out and door knock every day, or think of ideas to grow the business and actually do those ideas, that is what progresses the business and grows the business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to know that your business is capped off where you are. The biggest weakness of your business in the beginning is yourself. And the biggest strength of your business is obviously yourself. So if you're not doing the things necessary to be the best version of yourself, or grow the business, or grow your knowledge, the business isn't going to grow, okay? But if you are watching financial podcasts, you're talking to people, you're getting out, you're putting in enough hours a day that you feel you did some good work, then that is what will allow the business to grow. Eventually, you add people to the business, and if you leave the business, it can still grow. It's ambition, discipline, and patience. The ambition be crazy enough to quit your job and have a big, giant goal to create a business. Discipline, doing the daily actions that actually grow the business. Okay? And then patience, being patient with yourself as you grow and as the business grows.
Yeah, I think as long as you're seeing personal growth as well, that's how you know you're doing something right. Like, you can go back on the M Empire channel, probably look back to 3 years ago. It was me and him making a podcast. You could probably see an insane amount of difference.
Yeah.
I would have to go back and look at it too, but it's like, I feel like, I mean, there's definitely growth in us at least. So as long as you're
100%.
seeing growth in yourself, you're doing something right.
100%. Well, guys, this is pretty much year 3 of doing the podcast. Most podcasts don't make it past 20 episodes. I think we're getting close to 30. If we're not already in the 30s, I'll have to go back and check. Even though I took a long break off of the podcast because of the mission, getting married, and having a super busy season, I now have enough time, and honestly, it's a passion to talk about business, especially with people I love, and especially people that are good at business. And so in the future, expect these podcasts to be a little bit shorter, but me and Jackson obviously run this John to the absolute length every single time. Hopefully, I keep these to about 20 to 30 minute interviews, and next step, hopefully we interview my siblings again, and maybe get Jackson's brother in here. That'd be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, it's been a privilege to be on. Great to be back as always. I appreciate you.
The M Empire podcast. That's crazy. I'll see you guys next time.